Aryam Yat Param Hamsam Rasaha Padam Amananti Swastha Prashanta Karanaha Parimukta Sangaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nabirasa Varishaba Asa Sudevi Sunur Yogai Chachar Samtrik Jadi Yoga Charyan Yat Paramhansyam Rishya Padamahamananti Swastaha Prashanta Karna Parimukta Sangaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Anyone else? David Prabhu, you want to try?
Hare Krishna. Nabir Asa Vrishaba Asa Sudeva Sunu Yuvai Chachara Samadrik Jaga Yoga Chayam Yat Param Mahamsyam Rishayaha Param Amananti Swastaha Prashanta Karana Parimukta Sangraha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Word for word. Navi by Maharaj Navi. Also, the personality of Godhead. Risavaha, Risava. Asa became Sudevi, Sudevi. Sunuhu, the son of. Yaha, who. By certainly. Chachara, performed. Samadrik, equivalent. Jada, material. Yogacharyam, performance of yoga. Yat, which. Paramahamsyam, the highest stage of perfection. Risayaha, the learned sages. Padam, situation. Amananti, do accept. Swasthaha, self-reposed. Prasanta, suspended. Karanaha, the material senses. Parimukta, perfectly liberated. Sangaha, material contamination. Translation and purport by Sivan Grace, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The Lord appeared as the son of Sudevi, the wife of King Nabhi, and was known as Risavadev. He performed materialistic yoga to equibalance the mind. This stage is also accepted as the highest perfectional situation of liberation, wherein one is situated in one's self and is completely satisfied. Out of many types of mystic performances for self-realization, the process of Jara Yoga is also one accepted by authorities. This Jara Yoga involves practicing becoming like a dumb stone and not being affected by material reactions. Just as a stone is indifferent to all kinds of attacks and re-attacks of external situations, similarly, one practices Jara Yoga by tolerating voluntary infliction of pain upon the material body. Such yogis, out of many self-infliction methods, practice plucking out the hairs on their heads without saving and without any instrumental help. But the real purpose of such Jara Yoga practice is to get free from all material affection and to be completely situated in the self. At the last stage of his life, Emperor Rishabhadev wandered like a dumb man, unaffected by all kinds of bodily mistreatment. Seeing him like a madman, wandering naked with long hair and a long beard, less intelligent children and men in the street used to spit on him and urinate on his body. He used to lie in his own stool and never move. But the stool of his body was fragrant like the smell of fragrant flowers, and the saintly person would recognize him as a Paramahamsa, one in the highest state of human perfection. One who is not able to make his stool fragrant should not, however, imitate Emperor Rishabhadev. The practice of Jara Yoga was possible for Rishabhadev and others on the same level of perfection. But such an uncommon practice is impossible for an ordinary man. The real purpose of Jara Yoga, as mentioned here in this verse, is prasanta karanaha, or subduing the senses. The whole process of yoga, under whatever heading it may be, is to control the unbridled material senses and thus prepare oneself for self-realization. In this age, specifically, this Jara Yoga cannot be of any practical value. But on the other hand, the practice of Bhakti Yoga is feasible because it is just suitable for this age. The simple method of hearing from the right source, Srimad Bhagavatam, will lead one to the highest perfectional state of yoga. Rishabhadev was the son of King Navi and the grandson of King Agnidhra, and he was the father of King Bharat, after whose name this planet Earth was called Bharatavarsha. Rishabhadev's mother was also known as Meru Devi, although her name is mentioned here as Sudevi. It is sometimes proposed that Sudevi was another wife of King Navi, but since King Rishabhadev is mentioned elsewhere as the son of Meru Devi, it is clear that Meru Devi and Sudevi are the same person under different names. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sahabadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitasi Visakhanvitam Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Sagatpate Gope Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubheva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Translation again. The Lord appeared as the son of Sudevi, the wife of King Navi, and was known as Rishabhadev. He performed materialistic yoga to equivalence the mind. This stage is also accepted as the highest perfectional situation of liberation, wherein one is situated in one's self and is completely satisfied. Hare Krishna. Before speaking on this glorious verse, I would like to take the permission and blessing from all the assembled devotees. I see Kavila Prabhu, beloved disciple of Srila Prabhupada. I seek your blessings and permission to start the class.
Hare Krishna Mataji, go ahead please.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, we're reading from second canto, the Cosmic Manifestation, and the chapter of this, the title of this chapter is Scheduled Incarnation with a Specific Function. So, rewinding for myself. Lord Brahma, actually, upon the request of Narad Muni, is stating these Leela avatars in this chapter, right? But the series, if we go back, of course, Srila Prabhupada started narrating what the sages at Naimisaranya were asking to Sutta Goswami. Suta Goswami who himself was present at the bank of Ganges, where Sukadeva Goswami was answering the transcendental questions of King Parikshit. So, how come Brahma came here, right? If we remember, Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadeva Goswami to explain how the personality of Godhead by his personal energies create these phenomenal universes, which are inconceivable even to the great demigods in the 4th chapter. And then in the same verse, around the last of this chapter, on 4th chapter, Sukadeva Goswami, he refers to the conversation between Narada Muni and Lord Brahma. So since chapter 5, we are hearing that reference from Lord Brahma. So Narada Muni asks question to Lord Brahma, similar question that Parikshit Maharaj was asking. And then Lord Brahma starts the cause of all causes, and then where he mentioned about the universal form of the Lord. And then in chapter 6, which was Purusha Sutta, Brahma explains all those, like how Lord was the beginning and who will remain after, all those stuff. And then almost at the end, Lord Brahma briefly mentions about Purusha Avatar. And then he ends that chapter 6 saying, now I'll talk about Leela avatars. That's the background. So in this chapter, so far we have heard about Varaha avatar, then Suyagya or Hari, and then Lord Kapila, son of Devahuti. Then we heard about Dattatreya, Chatus Kumaras, 4 Kumaras, then Nara Narayana Rishi, then Prithu Maharaj in yesterday's verse. And in today's verse, we are going to hear about Lord Rishabhadev. Actually, in 1st canto, chapter 3, Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Suta Goswami also mentions all these avatars very briefly. And in the purport of today's verse, Srila Prabhupada has given a brief genealogy of Lord Rishabhadev in the middle of the purport. But he said, and which he says why we need the genealogy, why do we need to know name of mother and father of those incarnations in the verse 1 and 2 of this chapter itself. And there he says, like, for the authenticity and so that the people just randomly, they can't call somebody as incarnation or God. So he gives that importance that we need to know the genealogy of the incarnation. So we know in Canto 5, there is like very detailed description about Lord Rishabhadev and his instructions. So I tried to draw a genealogy chart from that canto. Let me share that screen real quick. Yeah, 1 second. Okay. Here. Is my screen viewable?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So here we see from Lord Brahma, Swayambhuva Manu was a Manasa Putra, born from his mind, right? For increasing the population as a progenitor. And then Swayambhuva Manu gets married to Satarupa, and Swayambhuva Manu Satarupa begets 2 sons and 3 daughters, Tanapa, Priyavrata, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. And from Priyavrata Maharaj, he gets married to Barismati. From Barismati, Priyavrata Maharaj gets 2 daughters and 10 sons. I didn't mention the names of 10 sons here. But among those 10 sons, Agnidra, one of his sons, gets married to Purvachitti. Purvachitti, I think it is said that Purvachitti was sent by Lord Brahma himself to Agnidra. And then Agnidra gets 9 sons: Navi, Kimpurusa, Harivarsa, Ilavrita, Ramyaka, Hiranmaya, Kuru, Bhadrasva, and Ketumala. Among 9 sons, the eldest one, Navi, from King Navi, like we just read in this verse, Navi was married to Meru Devi or Sudevi in some other places, but these two names are the same. So from Meru Devi, and her name was Meru Devi because all these 9 sons of King Agnidra got married to the daughters of Meru. So this daughter's name is Meru Devi, and somebody said Sudevi. From Meru Devi, from Navi, Lord Rishabhadev appears. That is also explained detailed in the appearance of Rishabhadev chapter in Canto 5, where he says where it is nicely explained how King Navi and Meru Devi does austerities for so long and gets Rishabhadev as their son because they wanted Lord to be their own son. And then Rishabhadev gets married to Jayanti, according to his guru's instruction. And then Rishabhadev begets 100 sons. This is very famous, right? First son was Bharat Maharaj, on whom this whole universe was named Bharatvarsha. And his 9 sons were the ascetic sages Navayogendra. There is like detailed instructions of Navayogendra in Canto 11. And the 9 sons, they become Kshatriyas and they rule the 9 islands. And the 81 sons were Brahmanas. So this is the little genealogy I draw from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 5. And then in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions about Jada Yoga. But before that, when Emperor Rishabhadev, after handing over the royal throne to his eldest son, Bharat Maharaj, he starts wandering around the universe, being a renunciate, or should say it was extreme. And then about Rishabhadev in Canto 1, Chapter 3, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes the stages of the renunciation, like Kuti Chaka, Bahudaka, like that, those stages. But in that also, Rishabhadev was in the highest extreme level, Paramhamsa. And then he starts wandering around the universe as a madman. And then Srila Prabhupada also says Avadhuta avatar. And then he was not concerned about his body and bodily needs. This means he wasn't concerned about eating, sleeping, or even clothing, or even bathing. Srila Prabhupada in the purport writes like naked man, wandering like a naked man with the long beard, matted hair, not caring about anything or anyone. More details, it's very detailed in Canto 5. And back to Jada Yoga. Jada Yoga actually means, Srila Prabhupada writes in the one line, he says, Jada Yoga involves practicing becoming like a dumb stone and not being affected by material reactions, which are actually shown by Lord Rishabhadev. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada further writes that at the last stage of his life, Emperor Rishabhadev wandered like a dumb madman, unaffected by all kinds of bodily mistreatment. Seeing him like a madman, wandering naked with long hair and a long beard, less intelligent children and men in the street used to spit on him and urinate on his body. He used to lie in his own stool and never move. That's very extreme. And then he says, but the stool of his body was fragrant like the smell of fragrant flowers. And a saintly person would recognize him as a Paramhamsa, one in the highest state of human perfection. One who is not able to make his stool fragrant should not, however, imitate Lord Emperor Rishabhadev. The practice of Jada Yoga was possible for Rishabhadev and others on the same level of perfection. But such an uncommon practice is impossible for an ordinary man. Again, I have to mention about Canto 5. There the whole thing is detailed. Srila Prabhupada just gave a glimpse in this canto. And so while he was wandering thus, he came to a province in South India, where it is said that he entered to the forest and that forest caught fire, burning his mortal body too. But a king named Arhat, somewhere if we look for Jainism philosophy, we will find Arihant, that is the same person. King Arhat of Konka, Benka, and Kutaka. He heard of the activities of Rishabhadev and he started imitating his principles and introduced a new system of religion. That's what Srila Prabhupada says, like, we cannot imitate Rishabhadev. And so King Arhat, he gave up the Vedic principles, which are free from risk, and conquered a new system. This is the line Srila Prabhupada mentioned, like mentioned in the 5th canto, chapter 6. And there he mentions that line also. That was the beginning of Jain Dharma, and many other religions followed this atheistic system. Actually, King Harat did not care for the fact that although Lord Rishabhadev acted like a madman, like Srila Prabhupada, he said his stool and urine were aromatic, very fragrant. He even says like it was nicely scented, that were miles around, not just close by. But nowadays, I mean, when we look for the Jainism philosophy, we take Lord Rishabhadev. Actually, Arhant is the one who started, but they take Lord Rishabhadev as the propounder of Jain philosophy. Okay, and surprisingly, but we look for the name. It will be a little different. For Rishabh, they what was the name they put? They are called Tirthankar, if I'm not wrong, I'm sorry. Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he writes that actually Jada Yoga should be like just as a stone, not different to any kinds of attacks or re-attacks of external situation. And by tolerating voluntary infliction of pain upon the mortal body. And I was hearing to Bhakti Charu Maharaj on this verse in the class. He was saying like how Jada Yoga means that if you're feeling cold, you do not you do not make any endeavor to make yourself warm, or if you are very hot, you do not go looking for looking to cool your body, or if you're hungry, you do not care to find food. If you get, you eat it. If not, then you don't mind, like that. And however, in the purport of this verse, Srila Prabhupada says the real purpose of Jada Yoga is prasanta karana. Prasanta karana means subduing the senses. He says the whole process of yoga, under whatever heading it may be, any yogas, actually is to control the unbridled material senses and thus prepare oneself for self-realization. And Srila Prabhupada nicely ties this verse starting from Jada Yoga to Bhakti Yoga. He says this Jada Yoga cannot be of any practical value in this age, specifically in this age. And he says, but on the other hand, the practice of Bhakti Yoga is feasible because it is suitable for this age. And we can remember the famous verse Srila Prabhupada often quotes, Kritayat Dhayata Vishnum, Tretayam Yajato Mokhai, Dwapare Paricharyayam Kalautat Harikirtanat. Kalautat Harikirtanat. Whatever result was obtained in Satya Yuga by Dhyayata, meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, Yajata, and in Dwapara Yuga, Paricharyayam, by serving the Lord's lotus feet, can be obtained in Kali Yuga. Same result, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Ribo. We don't have to worry about plucking our hair or inflicting pain to our body. Right? Srila Prabhupada is so merciful that he made it even easier. Like we can hear from Srila Prabhupada's past times that Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj had said like minimum 64 rounds for the devotees, but Srila Prabhupada made it much easier than that. Just chant 16 rounds and do some services, right? Or in Srila Prabhupada's word, dovetailing everything in Krishna's service. That's all from me, actually. Srila Prabhupada very nicely, elaborately wrote in the purport. I don't think we need more explanation. It's very clear. So we don't look for any yogas except for Bhakti Yoga. And Bhakti Yoga is regarded as the elevator compared to the steps for us to get to that highest stage, which is love of Godhead, right? Let's, whatever we just like heard or I just said, Srila Prabhupada has very nicely summarized in few minutes. I took it from an initiation lecture in Toronto. I think it was Srila Kriti Prabhu getting initiation and others. Let's listen to Srila Prabhupada and then we'll end for today. One second. Can you hear the sound?
Not yet.
A human body, human being has the chance to...
Now?
Yes, Masterji.
Okay, thank you.
A human body, human being has the chance to understand the philosophy of life as it was enunciated by Rishabhdev. He said, Nayana deho deho bhajana niloke kastana kaman arhati vir bhujana jehi tapo dibbanga putra kajena suddheta satya jasmad brahma saukham anantam. He said, my dear boy, this human form of life, ayana deha, this body. Now ayana deho deho bhajam, everyone has got body. The Brahma has got body, and the small insect, it has got also body. The spirit soul is encased in this material body. So, lower than the human being, up to the animals, there are so many forms of life. Jalajanavalakkhani sabralakkhaminsati. In this way, varieties of life. But Rishabhdev said, now you have got this human form of life, don't spoil it like the hogs and dogs, simply by sense gratification. Sense gratification is available by the hogs and dogs also. That was the instruction of Rishabhdev.
Hari Bol, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Thank you, everyone. I would like to open for more points or discussion on this verse from all these senior devotees assembled here. Hare Krishna. Parikshit Prabhu, I see you are on. You want to speak? Sorry, Kavali Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
You
Krishna.
spoke very nicely, short and sweet. Very good, the real philosophy. And you also took some points from chapter 5 also, where Prabhupada gives in details, about Rishabh. But Jain Dharma, you said they consider him as a founder of Jain Dharma, but they're not following his principles, though. So that's sad, actually, unfortunate that why he was doing this, and they are more on austerity and not eating for one whole month and things like that, so that's not good. But the philosophy was for the Rishabh was great, that don't care about the body and just meditate on the Lord, so he was all 24 hours under meditation, thinking about Krishna, he was not caring externally. Yeah, we care so much about our body, we should care a little bit, but not paying so much attention, wasting so much of our time in all these birthdays and the anniversaries and all these things, so yeah, life's aim is there. And the other thing I wanted to say.
Thank you, Prabhu. Nice.
Okay, thank you.
No, Prabhu, you're saying something.
Oh, nothing actually. I forgot totally. I thought something. I forgot.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
That's my humble obeisances. So God, Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Thank you for a nice class. And obviously prepared very well for it, because you were all over the Śrīmad Bhagavatam from 5th canto to 11th canto, describing so many things where it's talked about in brief and where it's explained in detail. And it was very nice that you ended with the short part of the lecture by Srila Prabhupada, where Kavali Prabhu also mentioned, commented on it, that we're not supposed to take this human life and live it like materialistic life, where sophisticated materialistic life. Same thing is being done in an unsophisticated way by the animal. And it is for self-realization and finding our connection with Krishna. And that's where our happiness is. So very nice lecture. I don't have a question. Actually, I have one more comment about that part that we were talking about, Rishabh leaving the administration and then roaming like a madman. I always shudder, literally, when I hear that part, that people actually spat on him and urinated on him and just let this go on. In other words, people were thinking that he was a madman, therefore, being a madman, you could do anything to him. Clearly, those people don't understand the simple thing that every person is actually a soul inside the body. So even if the physical body is acting mad, well, I'm not talking about Maharaj Shabbat because he's the incarnation of the Lord, but in general, every mad person should be treated nicely, because the soul is not mad. Physical body, the brain is gone bonkers, but not the real person. So that should be well understood. But anyway, the Lord's will is the Lord's will. In His pastime, sometimes bad things happen like that. But we have to be careful. We're not the body, so the body and the mind does stuff. It does not mean that we go after that person, because we offend the soul too when we do that. That's also a comment that I wanted to add.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Kavali Prabhu, you have some more points?
Not really. Mataji, one thing I forgot, that was about the pseudo gurus, what we have today. Yes. So actually, whosoever wants to claim that I am the incarnation, there still should be sent to them, for analysis, urine also. And then they can find out, how much pregnancy is there, and they are really Lord's incarnation or not, actually we can find out in 1 second, Because so many people claim nowadays, that this is God, that's a God, so many incarnations. Lord has so many incarnations, but not these pseudo gurus, So we have to be very careful nowadays and we are so lucky to have taken shelter of Srila Prabhupada, and we have so much pride of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu, so much. Anyone else?
Thank you for a wonderful lecture. I wanted to stress that. Very well researched and all. That's wonderful. Hare
Glory to Srila Prabhupada. It's all from Srila Prabhupada. Okay, if we don't have anything, maybe we can just end the class for today then. Kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha paritanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo. Antakoti Vaishnavindra ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone.
Hare Krishna.